I think probably the most intriguing team right now in the NFL, you have to sit here and say it's the New England Patriots. The way that Drake Maye is playing and has elevated his game has just been eye-popping in every sense of the imagination. The Mike Vrabel hire was an absolute home run hire. Everybody said that the second that he got fired from the Tennessee Titans, they were like, why the heck did the Tennessee Titans fire Mike Vrabel? That makes zero sense. Then, obviously, they cut ties to Gerard Mayo. He gets to the right spot. And then some question marks that you had about Josh McDaniels going into this season. And I really died on that hill. I was like fighting hard for Josh McDaniels just because there's not many offensive coordinators that come with a certain type of pedigree the way that Josh McDaniels does. And I feel like that he's impacted Drake Maye's game in a very positive manner in year 2 so far. What do you think of all of that? What I just said?
Yeah, I think that he has done a better job than I expected. But I also just think Drake Maye's like that freaking good. Like he's one of the best.
So you don't give Josh McDaniels credit when he. I
just said that. I think he's doing better than I expected.
The best ever, and now
I just said he's doing better than I expected.
Okay, say he's one of the best in the league. He's one of the best offensive play callers in the league.
No, I will not say that. I will not say that.
Hey, well,
I'll not go that far.
When they go to the AFC Championship this year, you need to say that. But we have the trade deadline looming, and there are now official rumblings of a potential Breece Hall trade. Breece Hall has a ton of buzz around him on where he could potentially go next, and the one team that I feel like when you look across the league in the NFL, there's pretty much 2 teams that make sense. It's like the Kansas City Chiefs and I think the New England Patriots, where obviously the New England Patriots have Ramondre Stevenson, but Ramondre Stevenson isn't a world beater by any stretch of the imagination. They take who was the running back they took in the top of the draft? Travion Henderson. In the top of the second round. He hasn't panned out the way that that everybody thought he would going into the season, but I still think that he'll be a valuable offensive piece for them. And you look at what the Patriots have on their table. If on the table, they go and they trade for Breece Hall. If you are going to trade for Breece Hall at this point, he's on his last year of his 5th-year option. So he would be up for a contract after this year. And I look at a team who is most constructed to trade for Breece Hall and then be in a position to pay him long-term right after this season and be a part of the future. And I think the Patriots fit the mold for that 100%. The Patriots have $77 million in cap space in 2026. It's like 5th most, I think. And if he does get traded, like I said, I'm sitting here thinking like he would probably get a deal. Like I think of like Swift, Kyron Williams, James Cook got 4 years, $46 million, so 11.5 per year.
I think he'd get he would probably get a right around that, even though I don't think he's as good as some of those guys. I think he's good, but I think
he's shown flashes.
James Cook has been better than him for sure. The other guys you named were Swift, and who was the other one?
Kyron Williams.
Yeah, I would put him in that category. I think he's better than Swift.
I think he's better than Kyron too.
I was gonna say I think it's pick your poison with Kyron Williams and
his
Breece
flashes.
Hall.
His flashes though, when he flashes, it's like
they're great.
This guy could be one of the best in the league. He's 24 years old. He's 2 years off of this knee injury now at this point. Like
throws a great jump ball.
Yeah, throws a great jump ball, and I think that makes a ton of sense. And one, what do you like that fit? Do you like the New England Patriots fit with Breece Hall, or is there another team that you think would make sense for a potential Breece Hall fit?
I mean, I hate Ramondre Stevenson probably since day one. I just don't think he's that special of a running back, and I've been hoping that they would give Travion Henderson more touches, but that has yet to be the case at this point in the year. I think if you add Breece Hall to that backfield, it becomes immensely better. Breece Hall, like you said, the flashes that he's shown when he's playing at the highest like that high level, he's a top 10 running back in the NFL. I think it just hasn't been consistent enough. And I think some of that is just because of the offense as a whole that he's kind of stuck in. Like they just don't have guys, and their offense is not good. So I think if you get him in a more consistent offense with a quarterback that is actually talented, I think he'll pop off. So I do like that. I like that a lot. I'm trying to just look around here and see kind of what other teams he might work out on. I mean, I think they could benefit from a guy like Breece Hall, even though this running back has been okay. I think he could work out on the Texans, but that offensive line is really brutal. I don't necessarily love the Texans. I don't love the Texans like running back room. I'm talking just strictly like teams that I don't like their running back rooms. The Texans fall into that category for me, but that big thing is the money piece of it, right? He's going to want a contract, and I agree with you. I don't think it works monetarily for the Texans, but I think he would work in that offense. The thing to consider is, are the Jets going to trade to the Patriots to help them out and improve them?
Probably.
You think? Yeah. Because we see all the time that teams don't want to trade amongst their division for that exact reason.
I don't think it matters that much.
It shouldn't, but the Jets' ownership is bad.
Well, that would be their GM's office, so I would have to worry about that. So,
yeah, I know. I'm just
you just
throwing
look at
that out there.
At, like in this situation, like 1-7, he's clearly available. Like
yeah.
The only other team that has been thrown out that makes sense, which for on paper, but I don't think makes sense at all, was the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know why if the Arizona Cardinals traded for Breece Hall, I think I'm like officially out on the Arizona Cardinals, like in totality, like because that move just makes it just they have so many issues on that team, like top down, like going and trading for like Breece Hall in a season where you're 2-5 at the bye, like I just don't love that.
The biggest thing that comes with this is likely the contract piece of it and the extension that whoever he gets traded to, like if I'm that team, I would want to be the team that is comfortable with giving him an extension, because I wouldn't just want to trade for him for 10 games. So it has to make sense monetarily first and foremost.
And that's where I think that the Patriots situation makes sense, because Breece Hall's agent and him are probably like, well, where am I going to resign? I could see him wanting to resign in New England. It looks like their future is really bright. The Cardinals, on the other hand, like people are talking about Kyler potentially not being a quarterback next season, the whole nine. And the last thing too with the potential Cardinals move is just like the Cardinals are like always like in like on all these big time players. They were in on Micah Parsons, like they were in on all these dudes, and they never actually cough up the value to bring somebody big in. So I don't see how they would go and grab like a hot young running back in the middle of the season right before the trade deadline, because I just don't think that they'll cough up the necessary value to be able to get him back in a trade.
If I'm the Cardinals, I think at this point I would just want to hold on to as much draft capital as possible.
Yeah.
This was a season that you and I both thought that they would be better than what they are, and if it continues to trend this way, and yes, they've had a ton of injuries, which that's not their fault, but I would just want to have as much draft capital as I possibly could as what could potentially be the end of the Kyler Murray era in Arizona.
Yeah, and it seems like you would want all of your picks in a scenario like that.
Yeah, the last thing that you want to do is get stuck in a rebuild where one of your most expensive players is a running back.
Well, that would be Breece Hall would be back on the Jets then at that point,
Correct.
in nicer weather.
Exactly.
But to round this back into the Patriots, because there's one more like fantasy scenario that I have for the Patriots. This would obviously be the 2026 season, but since we talked about Breece and the potential re-up, I think George Pickens right now, he's top 5 in receiving yards. He has 6 touchdowns on the season. He looks absolutely incredible every single week. Even since CD has come back, he put up, I think, like 70 and 80 yards in each respective game. He's just playing so well. He's just looking more complete as a wide receiver week in and week out. And I think this Dallas transition has just been like one of the best moves that could have ever possibly happened in his career. And then on top of it, Dallas is in a situation right now where they're not going to pay. Right now, I know this might be a hot take. I think if Pickens continues to play like this, I think there's a real shot that he could potentially reset the market. Do you think that that's an outlandish statement that would be a ton of money? That would be the $161+ million like a Jamar Chase got. But like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, if he finishes top 5 in receiving yards throughout the course of a season as a number 2, quote unquote, option in Dallas, you got to look at a team like who really needs that number 1 wide receiver. And I'm talking the Patriots here. The Patriots have this cap space. They have the infrastructure. They have the rookie. They have the quarterback on the rookie deal. Like, do you think that it could be a possibility that George Pickens could potentially reset the wide receiver market if he continues to play at this level for the rest of the season?
I think that's absolutely a possibility. I'm just trying to look up the free agent wide receivers this upcoming offseason, but the pace that George Pickens is on thus far in the season has been wide receiver 1 numbers, which we both were all over during this offseason. He's 11th in receptions with 43. He has 685 yards, which is 3rd, and 6 touchdowns, which is tied for 3rd in the NFL.
This upcoming class has Mike Evans. This free agency class, it's Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel, Jacoby Myers, Alan Lazard, Tutu Atwell, Marquise Brown, Jawan Jennings, D-Hop, Greg Dortch, Keenan Allen. I mean, this is not an impressive list of names here. Like Braxton Berrios, Sterling Shepard. Like, if you look at this list currently, George Pickens is 24 years old. He's probably the youngest on this list by far, and he's outperforming you can go scroll down this entire list right here. He's by far the best name on this list. He's the hottest free agent at the wide receiver position this offseason by a long shot.
He is the 3rd youngest in this upcoming free agent wide receiver class, and he absolutely clears everybody else that I'm looking at on this list. And it's really not close. He is wide receiver 1 material, and I mean, Mike Evans obviously is good, but the conversation we're having here is not a Mike Evans conversation. It's a young free agent wide receiver, and Pickens is by far the best one on this list. So I look at it as certainly a possibility. I think that he's proven in Dallas with a competent quarterback that he's more than able to go out there and put up wide receiver 1 numbers. I think if you add him to an offense that's led by Drake Maye they'll end up having complementary wide receivers and decent skill position players, I'm sure, but I think he would fit in seamlessly, and I think he would have a massive impact in New England. But to answer your ultimate question is yes, I think he could reset this market. We don't know what type of extensions wide receivers will end up complaining about when this season's over, but going into it, he's primed to get a gigantic deal this offseason.
Yeah, I even looked at it in case if you said that he wasn't going to reset the market, because I think that would take a lot. I think it's possible, but I think it would take a lot. I automatically look at like the DK Metcalf and Garrett Wilson deals. DK Metcalf is 4 years, 132 million. Garrett Wilson is 4 years, 130 million. I feel like he's better than both those guys personally. But I feel like if you wanted to make the argument that he was like on that same sort of level playing field, I think that that's probably fair. And then when you gear that up for just hyper specific on the Patriots in this scenario, like you still have if you paid him the James Cook deal, Breece Hall, and paid him 4 years, 46 million, $11.5 million a year, and then gave him the DK Metcalf deal at 132 million, you still have $34 million in cap space to work with, even just solidifying two 24-year-old, a running back and a wide receiver with a rookie quarterback, on a rookie deal. I just feel like that is like I'm obviously fantasy booking in this scenario, like pretty heavy, but that fires me up, honestly, more than anything.
Yeah. And I'd love to actually see, I mean, we've seen George Pickens in a good offense this entire season, but I'd love to actually see Breece Hall with some actual structure around him, because we've seen the flashes. He can be really freaking good, but the consistency just has not been there. And I think the infrastructure around him's just been really bad his entire NFL career. And that's a guy that is a 3-down back and can go be elite somewhere if given the right opportunity.
I completely agree. Hey, complete fantasy booking there on my end. I'm sorry. I saw Breece Hall was going to get traded, and it, like, I don't know, my mind started like churning. I was like, man, that would be like, if that's how the offseason played out for the Patriots, that would be sick.